So I've just watched the Kane Pearson movie, Backrooms, and what I have to say is, whoa, okay, that is some really impressive debut for a 20-year-old, as in, he made that series on YouTube, and he's made a whole $10 million budget movie out of it, and this is like, really impressive, like, very aesthetically pleasing to look at, like, and the horror side of things, it was like, whoa, like, this is like some pretty deep and pretty heavy subject matter, in my opinion, like, the movie does follow a very bored and fed up and alienated furniture store owner who finds a whole back rooms literally in the basement, literally on a lower floor. As he goes into the wall, through a wall, there's a whole area of back rooms. Like, that's kind of like really insane. Like the designs of the back rooms is almost like Alice in Wonderland, but somehow has a much more surreal edge to it. As in, the rooms, somewhat design-wise, varies a little bit by little bit, and it's just really hard to describe. Like, this is kind of these movies you just have to see to believe, essentially. Like, it is definitely a bit of a head trip, a bit of a head spin, in my opinion. Like, the movie also does follow his relationship with his therapist being betrayed by that lady from Worst Person in the World and Sentimental Value, Renee's, I forgot her name on top of my head, but she is an incredible job in this movie, as the movie does delve into her backstory, like her childhood with a really weird mom who has mental illnesses issues, and of course the relationship that he has with the owner of that furniture store being portrayed by Mr. Eggio, who's from films like Life of Chuck and 12 Years a Slave. Like, the design of this movie is like really insane. Like, they built that entire backrooms like practically so much so that crew members actually got lost in it. Like, it's like that movie. It's like that. Like, you get lost in this movie along with the characters. Like, there's so much to it. Like the more when you think you like gone deep enough, you're only like scratching the surface of it. Like you can tell like Kane Pearson has a lot of dedication in that movie. Like, this is like pretty insane stuff. Like, very trippy and very cerebral. The Backrooms, to explain, is a massive internet phenomenon known as a creepypasta, as apparently these rooms apparently exist or something, I don't know. It's basically a whole maze of like office spaces that just keep going and going, and it's all like and all has some sort of like surreal furniture, like some sunken into the floor or some like almost like glued to the ceiling or onto the side of the wall. Pretty much like a really weird diner that's just more vibes than food, maybe. And also, it became a huge phenomenon on the internet. So much so that even one of my favorite comedians, Brandon Rogers, did a video about it, being "Oh, those back rooms," where it features one of his characters, Luxy Leroy, where he navigates through the back rooms. But instead of just like the characters almost breaking in on themselves or psychological torment, it's pretty much all the memes that just died off from the early days of meme internet history to 2016 memes, maybe. Again, this is so it became such a big thing on the internet. It's pretty much caught a lot of people's fascination. Like, you can Google more of it if you want at your own pace. Again, what really got me in that movie is just how very unnerving the movie is. As in, my type of horror movie usually is like something that is like, you know, not filled with jump scares, not filled to the brim with gore. But this is kind of that type of movie, in my opinion. As in, the movie is just quite a lot of bad vibes just coming off, just oozing out of it. Just something like it's just completely off of it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost like that Stanley Kubrick movie, The Shining, where, it's about a hotel caretaker being played by Jack Nicholson, who takes care of a hotel during the winter. But I feel like this and Backrooms have somewhat of a familiar vibe to it, as in it's pretty much the vibe of the building. Like, it's pretty much bringing the worst out of these characters. Like, it's pretty much a building that pretty much brings the worst, all the demons out, essentially. Like, this is something that brings everything that's kind of unpleasant about us, which is again a very cool experience, a cool idea. Like, also, the movie visually is also very amazing, like very bright colors, and of course the design of back rooms is very sprawling, very maximalist as well. Like, as in, like, it just goes on and on and on. Like, again, it does change up a little bit, like a design that looks very reminiscent to, let's say, a bathroom or something like a living room, where everything looks like a cross between like a office space, living room, but extremely minimalist. Like, it's very hard to, it's actually very, very hard to describe the back rooms, in my opinion, like, considering how very surreal and very out there the concept is. Of course, even in the more human side of the story, particularly with the therapist portrayed by Renette Resnive, who's again in the movies like mentioned, the worst person in the world and sentimental value, and of course that recent Cannes film that won at the Cannes Film Festival, Forge or Ford, with Sebastian Stan. Again, I feel like she's probably one of the a really interesting character story of a therapist who's also battling her own demons, and also Edute being this alcoholic furniture store owner who's pretty much resentful for the fact that his wife left him and is now living in the in the furniture store with a huge drinking problem, and he stumbles across the back rooms, which is again a very interesting and very eerie concept, and how these two character dynamics seem to go off on each other, which is again a really endearing idea, particularly of the human nature side of horror. And also, what I do find somewhat a lot more intriguing is that this is a movie that pretty much hoists in the atmosphere side of it. Like, no jump scares, no gore, just vibes. What I also did notice is that the movie was produced by James Wan, who is pretty much a horror maestro at this point, as in he did Saw, he did Insidious, he did Conjuring's film series. And also, it's also produced by the relatively newcomer of a horror genre, being Osmond Perkins, who did Longlegs and Keeper as well, and also The Monkey. And also the person who's not too familiar with horror, but I definitely do see him do some game, like Sean Levy, who did 90 Museum films, and of course the Deadpool movies, and of course he's doing the upcoming Star Wars movie, Starfighter, again, which is a very interesting pick of producer, particularly, the movie's writing as well is also really good, particularly in the moments where it's a lot more sparse, where it's not as heavy in the dialogue, and you just see the characters just slowly navigate through the back rooms or their own struggles at their own pace, which is something I find appealing for Kane Pearson to do, particularly something like in the scene in Spirited Away, where Chiro and No Face are on a train and they don't speak at all. Like, it's letting the movie breathe. Although Spirited Away does it in a much more calmer, more scenic way, this is again even somewhat scenic, but this time it's more of a disturbed way. Like a lot of the characters cannot wrap their heads around what is happening right now in front of them. Particularly, of course, the performances of Eduro and of course Renette is incredible at best. Like, you do see a lot of range of emotions coming from both of them, and of course both of them have like really intense chemistry. Of course, the acting from both of them is absolutely brilliant as well. Like, this movie is just haunting at best. Like, particularly like a lot of scenes, like I'll mention over and over in this review. Like, this is the biggest scare you get with this film is basically like Shining. It's basically the hotel or the back rooms. It's the back rooms. Like, it's pretty much where all the bad stuff happens in this movie. So for the back rooms, I'm feeling an 8.29 out of 10 on this one. So, what do you think of the back rooms? Let me know in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, and comment down below. And also, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky Threads, and Letterboxd. And this is Elijah Wells, and bye!